Welcome to another edition of Real Estate Live. I'm Kathy Mae Martin, and I'm your host today. If you own a home or thinking about buying a home, you need insurance. And I've got an expert with us today that's going to answer all your questions live on the air. Look on the screen, and you'll see our email address and our phone number. Call us or email us, and we'll answer your questions live on the air. Stay tuned.
Good job.
Yeah.
An expert at this.
Oh, no. Well, I'm excited to have an expert in the insurance business with me today. I'm really honored to call him my friend, Mr. Johnny Griffin with Griffin Insurance. He's all things insurance, but we're going to focus on homeowners insurance today. Johnny, how long you been in the business?
About nearly 50 years.
Wow. So if
I don't look that old, I know.
No, you don't. So was that always a dream of yours to be an insurance agent?
No.
How'd you get in the business?
I got in it accidentally. I lost my job with a manufacturing firm and didn't know what I was going to do. And a friend was helping me to get my retirement and profit sharing from my old company. And his brother-in-law needed an insurance agent, so he hired me.
Yeah.
And then 18 months later, I opened my own place.
Yeah. The rest is history.
The rest is history.
You're doing what you're supposed to do, Johnny. I firmly believe that.
Well,
You're great.
I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
You're great at what you do. What's some of the biggest misconceptions with homeowners insurance?
Well, I guess the fact that people think if they've got a homeowner's policy, everything's covered.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest misconceptions. And of course, all policies are not the same. You need to read your policy. And in my opinion, you should do business with a trusted choice independent agent.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's the thing that most homeowners think is covered, but it's probably not?
Flood insurance, and of course earthquake is not automatically included. You can purchase earthquake on your homeowner's policy, but you cannot purchase flood on your homeowner's policy. That's a separate policy that's underwritten actually by the federal government.
Is that FEMA?
FEMA. Well, it's not called FEMA, but it does have to be renewed every year. It's pretty much it's in debt really bad. But they debate it every year in Congress, and it gets down to the wire, but they've always come through and reinstated it every year. But flood insurance is not covered on your homeowner policy.
Yeah, and it's not cheap, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not. But the bigger your flood zone, the higher the rate. But in today's world, everybody probably lives in a flood zone.
Yeah.
We had floods in the mountains.
Yes, not too long ago.
Right.
Yes. If you could fix one mistake that most people make when they get their insurance policy, what would that be? A mistake?
Well, probably the biggest problem is getting people to understand they need to read their policy.
Yes, they do.
Every policy has exclusions. They're not all the same, but most folks don't read their policy. Many that get this little booklet folded over and throw it in the top drawer. But that's probably the biggest error that people buying home insurance make. They don't really read the policy. They don't know whether they're covered properly or not. And that's not gotten any better in my 50 years.
Yes, I'm sure. They're looking probably at price
Well, they
point.
just look at price, yeah.
Price point.
Price is not the best way to buy insurance. You should always make sure you got the coverage that you need and that you want, and then get the best price you can for what you need covered.
And does the homeowner determine that, or do you help them, Johnny, determine that?
We help them. In my office, everybody is a licensed agent.
Good.
and everybody has to do continuing education, and they learn about policy forms and all of those things. And I do have one person that reviews every renewal. That's a big job.
That's good, yeah.
Most folks don't do that, but we do. And of course, some of these things that are not automatically covered, like sinkhole, for example. You're supposed to offer sinkhole, but the person doesn't have to buy it, but you're supposed to offer it to them. I see policies all the time where they've never been offered sinkhole.
Really? Yeah. And I know in real estate, we have to disclose now if we know of a sinkhole on a property,
Right.
but people don't always
That's
know. I was talking with somebody at the Real Estate Commission, and they said they are very prevalent, more
East
so in
Tennessee.
West
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
They
so-
are. I've had a couple that I had insured that had one. You may remember it was up in Kingston Heights area, and archaeologists and people from UT came. That thing went farther than they could see.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy abandoned the house, and I don't know what
What
happened.
was he covered or he didn't?
He's not covered.
Yeah.
That was before really we had sinkhole and
Yes.
coverage in Tennessee. It's only been around probably, I don't know, I guess maybe 15
Right.
years.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it is a coverage that needs to be considered.
Yes, absolutely. I learned something. I didn't even know you offered sinkhole
We put it
coverage.
on every policy we write, unless they, and we tell them it's on there, and if they say they don't want it, it does have a little cost. It's not real expensive, but it does have a little cost, and but it is a peril that could happen in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. It is. Anything could happen, right?
Right.
That's why you have insurance.
Right.
What are some of the core parts of a standard insurance policy? I know there's the dwelling. What's some other things?
Well, you have dwelling, and of course your contents. That's all your personal property, and of course it's important that personal property be on a replacement cost basis rather than actual cash value. But then you have liability, med pay for little things that may happen on your property that you may not be liable for, but you could still pay for.
Yeah. What's an example of that, Johnny?
well,
what's an example?
You could be having a gathering or something on your property, and something happened, and not not be something you'd be liable for in a court of law, but you could still pay for medical bills for minor things. That's usually not a lot of coverage, maybe $5,000.
Yes. Hey, we got a question, Johnny. Let's take a moment and answer that. What is the biggest insurance worry when buying a new house?
Well, if it's a new construction, there's probably not many.
Everything's warranted.
Right. Everything in a new construction is probably no problems. Now, if you're buying an older home, there could be a lot of issues. And of course, the biggest issue today is roofs. 46% of all claims in 23 were roof claims. And that's caused a lot of changes to come about with roof coverage. And that didn't used to be something we worried about. We'd always ask, how old's your roof? And didn't seem to be significant. But it is now. And of course, if you put a new roof on, that's one of the things we've got to do a better job at, is letting people know to tell us when they put a new roof on. And you do get, with some companies, not all, but with some companies, you get a discount, a reduced rate when you put a new roof on.
Yeah, I want to brag on your company just while you're talking about that. We put a new roof on a couple of years ago.
Did you get a lower premium?
I didn't call you until
you
you didn't think about it. Got busy selling some real estate
Right.
or doing something, and one of your agents was out on a boat on the lake, and they looked at the house and they're like, wow, she's got a
Got a
new
new
roof. Yeah, so it did lower our insurance
Yeah.
policy. So, yeah, that's good to know. That's a good point there. And thank you for your question. What about replacement cost versus actual cash value?
Okay.
Tell us about
That
that.
is a big deal, and it's not really understood by many people unless your agent covers that with you. And of course, it's become, the last few years, because of the issues with roofs, it's become something we all are better prepared today to talk about and let them know the difference between actual cash value and replacement cost. Replacement cost is always better because you're going to get whatever new same quality cost versus being depreciated. A roof pretty much will depreciate in about 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
you know, their schedules, some companies have schedules, and many companies, though, you know, don't, you're grandfathered, I guess you could say, with some companies, not all companies. But if your roof is acceptable when you write the home, it stays actual cash value until you either replace it or have a problem.
Or have a hailstorm or
Yeah.
something. Hey, Johnny, we got another question. What discounts are available for great question,
Yeah.
security system, roof age, and bundled policies?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a good
bundle policies is really the biggest discount you get. So we really try to bundle everybody because that's a big discount. Of course, as we just talked about, if you got a new roof, you get a little discount. Security systems, you get a discount. It's not a significant discount, but there is a discount. Sometimes it's 5%, sometimes maybe 10%. But there's something new, and we're going to hear more about this as time goes on because water damage claims are very difficult and can be really big claims. And there are today different kinds, but some of them will just monitor it. You could have it on your cell phone and let you know if you got a water leak, if you're out of town or something. And then there's some that'll shut it off if you have a water leak. I had a claim where people were gone for 30 days and they had a terrible leak.
That's when it happens.
It was a big claim because water damage is bad.
It is, and yeah.
But that's pretty much the discounts that are available on a homeowner. And like I said, the bundling is the biggest deal. And some companies actually, if you have an umbrella or a boat, you get additional credit. Or if you buy a life policy, you get additional credit.
Yeah.
That's not every company, but that's a few.
And I know umbrella policies are important. Can you just give the audience an idea of what an umbrella policy does?
Well, an umbrella policy is pretty important for anybody that has any assets, and that's, you know, because in today's world, lawsuits are plentiful, and you never know if if you get sued and you get in a jury of your peers. Sometimes there are big awards made. Your umbrella will go above your auto and your homeowner and a boat if you have a boat or a motorcycle. And they're very relatively cheap for the coverage provided.
Yes, yeah, good to have. Hey, we got another question, Johnny. Getting lots of questions. Thank you for your question. How often should I review? That's a great question. How
It is.
often should somebody review and update their policy?
Well, at least every 3 years. But like I said earlier, I have a person that's her job. She reviews every policy that renews for a number of reasons, for maybe changes in coverage, to find out if they've purchased jewelry or they purchased some other product that might need to be scheduled or something like that. Plus, we've been through a real 4 years of really, really hard property insurance where premiums were escalating at an unheard of in my 50 years time. I mean, we had 20 and 30 and 40% increases annually for a couple of years.
Wow.
That's moderating now.
And what caused that, Johnny, in your opinion?
Well, these catastrophic losses are a big part of it, and one of the things that people don't understand, even though a company has a catastrophic loss in California, one of the ways it affects Tennessee, companies spend their surplus, and they have to keep their rating, they have to have a certain percentage of surplus to make sure they can pay all their claims and pay them on time. And during that 22 and 23 years, big companies spent 30% of their reserves.
Right.
And, you know, it takes a while to get that back.
Absolutely. The hurricanes in Florida and those type
Well,
things.
in California, I don't
the
have a
fires.
clue how much that big fire cost, but it was a lot of money.
It cost us all.
Yeah, it cost us
Plus,
all.
you know, you think through COVID, the values of homes went up.
Went up.
So, you know, and that's something when you renew and update your policy, you should look at.
Right.
Should update the value of my home?
Yeah.
And is
There
that
is a-
something you help
yeah.
them with?
Yeah, right, we do. Now, there is, every homeowner's policy has an inflation built-in percentage.
Yeah.
In some cases, that causes a house maybe to be overinsured, but I've never had one that had a total loss that thought they had too much insurance.
Absolutely. I can understand that. So when you have hey, we've got another comment, Johnny. Let's question. Are older electrical, plumbing, or HVA systems fully covered or subject to depreciation? Another great question.
Right. Those things are not subject to depreciation,
Okay.
at least with most policies. Now, there may be some that do, but there's not many. They are on a replacement cost basis if you've done that if you've got replacement cost on your contents and the building. Always the building would be, most of the time, the building would be replacement cost. But contents, sometimes people don't purchase replacement cost on their contents, and that's a mistake.
It is a mistake. Now, is there a good way to document those contents? Should you have pictures, videos?
Well,
What's a good way?
Well, beginning a number of years ago now, when the video cameras came into existence, we recommended people just go, you don't have to do it piece by piece, but go through your house and make a little video so that when you see that video, you could remember what's in that chest or, you know, those kind of things. But that's the best way today, and you can update it easily too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good information there. So let's say, let's take this question, then we'll get to the next one. Is it beneficial to get renter's insurance when renting a property? That's a good question.
It is a good question, and it's probably one of the most ignored coverages. But it, you know, like a big apartment. If you are renting a big apartment and it has a claim, it doesn't have to be your claim. It could be a claim in the other end of the apartment, but you have to be out of a place to live for 6 months or 3 weeks or whatever. Your renter's policy would provide coverage for you to rent a place while your place is being repaired, or while the apartment's being repaired. That happens, you know, when you have these big apartment fires, less than half the people have renter's insurance. So everybody that's renting and it's very reasonable for renter's insurance. It's not expensive at all.
That's a great point, because I think most renters and tenants think that renter's insurance is just insuring the contents. They don't think about
Right.
what if I'm out of a place to
Right.
live for 6 months.
to me, that makes the rental policy worth what it costs.
Absolutely.
Because that's some hard, when you have that happen, it's really hard because they have no place to go and
Yeah.
you got to pay extra rent or maybe motels or whatever, and it'll pay for a place to stay while it's being repaired.
While you're trying to get
Yeah.
your life back together.
Right.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so let's say I have a homeowner that calls and says, hey, I'm going to be closing on this house. They have to have homeowners
Yeah.
insurance. Now, is that something when they call you send out a representative to look at the house? How do you go about determining, factors on the house?
There's a lot better information today than there was when I started. For example, we have online the county records that will show you square footage, when it was built, those kind of things. It won't tell you what's been updated maybe and those kind of things, but we look at every piece of property we write. Companies today are using satellites and drones
Yes.
to look
To
at
look at
property.
roofs and-
Yeah, and roofs particularly.
Yeah.
And we get a message that, so and so might need to replace their roof. It looks like it's got some issues. Sometimes if they've used old satellite stuff, it may not be correct.
Right.
But people maybe have forgotten to call you and tell you. Good friend, for example, I got a message and they said he needs to replace his roof before renewal. And he had already replaced his roof, but he just hadn't told me.
Oh.
And that was an old satellite picture, I think 6 months old or something, and he had done it in the last couple of weeks or couple of months. But they are using satellite imagery, and it's amazing how good it is,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the new technology is kind of.
Yeah. Makes
helping
your
a lot.
job a little easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
That's great.
In fact, I've used, I think I used your son-in-law to do some,
Yes, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
he-
do some drone.
yeah, he
go
did
up there
a
and
drone
take a-
thing for me. On a place I couldn't get to the back and see the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, those drones are pretty amazing.
It is.
Especially for roofs. I know a lot of our home inspectors use those. What should a homeowner do first if they have a claim?
Well, the first thing you probably should do today, more than in the past, is determine if you have a claim that's going to be significantly more than your deductible. Claims accumulate, and they never forget claims. So you don't want to have a claim that's $50 above your deductible. So, finding out what the VAT or what the cost to repair if it's a minor thing, you probably want to do it because you're going to be out the deductible part anyway. So
Right.
you might want to do it and not report a claim. But if it's anything significant, you always, as soon as you know about it, report it to your agent.
And so brings me to my next question. How many claims are too many before it becomes a problem?
Well, that's not cut and dried.
Yeah.
Tenure,
Yes.
a lot of people don't understand that, but tenure with a company, years without claims, and then you have a couple of claims, probably with most companies not going to affect them.
Right.
Unless it's a real negligence type claim. Now, negligent claims are more significant than other types of claims.
Yes, and that makes
Yeah.
sense. So how does a claim affect future does it affect the future cost of a policy?
It can today. Now, when I started in this business, that was not true. The only time you could have automobile claims and it did affect the premium, but homeowners it didn't. In today's world, it does, not immediately and not every time, but the biggest problem would be might prevent you from getting something better if you've had a couple of claims.
Yeah,
But it's not an automatic thing.
right. Hey, we got another question, Johnny. Is my septic tank, drain field, and distribution box considered part of the dwelling, or is that excluded? How's that work?
That would probably be, of course, it's underground. And the field lines, I wouldn't think there'd be any coverage for the field lines, but the septic tank itself could be an adjacent structure, which has some coverage. But as a general rule, if it's below ground, it's probably not covered.
Right. So if a homeowner, let's say they're buying a home and they're on the lake and they have a dock, is the dock insured, or is that
Yes.
an extra?
It's an adjacent structure.
Okay. And what about a barn?
Barn is different.
Okay, yeah, let's
If you got
talk
a
about
barn, it depends on how it's used. But if it's a true barn, where say you got hay or you got cattle or those kind of things, you need a farm, you need a gentleman farm. Even if you don't farm, you need a little farm owner's endorsement added to the policy.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. What's one thing that a homeowner could do in today's homeownership that would reduce the cost of homeowners insurance or the risk of
Well,
liability?
Those things we talked about, security systems and so forth, but I don't know what the discount is going to be for this new water shut off and water
Yes,
notification.
for codes.
But everybody is talking about that now, and it's relatively new. But there'll be a big discount for that, in my opinion, because it's a big saver.
I think I know the answer to this one, but is the cheapest policy ever the best policy?
The cheapest policy is never the best policy. I try to teach my people that we talk about coverage first. Because coverage, you have to have the coverage. You can't get it after a claim. So you get the coverage, then you find the best price you can for that coverage.
Correct. Now, I have had some homeowners that had certain dogs that they would call me.
Yeah.
They couldn't get their loan because, hey, we're having a problem getting insurance because we have a certain kind of dog. Is that?
It's still an issue, and it varies from company to company, but all companies have issues with some breed of dogs. I couldn't name all the breeds, but one of them is one my grandson has, a Chow.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, their problem. And this Chow's as gentle as,
Yeah.
but they
it's just
when you say Chow, that's a bad dog.
Yeah. And I know used to, and I don't know if that's still true, and that's why we're here. We're answering questions. If you live closer to a fire hydrant or a volunteer fire department, you got a better rating.
Right.
Is that true?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very true. In fact, we have as many houses that are serviced by volunteer fire departments as we do by the cities. Because some of our big subdivisions are outside the city. Indian Shadows, for example, a big subdivision.
Oh, yeah.
And they do have fire hydrants, and that helps a whole lot. But just out in the county, if you don't have a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet, it's a problem. Now, we have in the past, and we need to get back to this, our fire departments qualified for their ratings by hauling water. They had dump tanks that they had to go through an exercise of hauling so much water in a certain period of time, and that helped with the rating. Our volunteer fire departments all have good ratings.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They really do. Yeah, proud of our volunteer fire departments. Johnny, we're running out of time, but I've got one last question. I told you it goes quick. If a homeowner remembered one thing from today's interview and talking with you, what should it be?
Read your policy, particularly the exclusions. What's not covered.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes, well, remember that. I want to thank Johnny for being here today. I want to say thank you for being such a good steward of this community, Johnny. You've done so much for this community. And so check out the screen. We've got Johnny's information on there. If you're
It's a good-looking bunch.
It is a good-looking bunch. If you're thinking of buying a home, or you want to just check the rates on your policy or get a quote, give Johnny Griffin and his office a call. They're going to do a great job. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being my friend, Johnny.
Thank you for letting me be here.
All right, and you can contact us here at the email on the screen. We'll be here next week, 7 o'clock, Thursday night, live, Real Estate Live. So follow us and subscribe, and we hope to see you next week. And I want to give Scott Wilk and Wilk Productions a shout out, and thank you for the great job that you do airing this show live on the air. So thank you, and thank you for being here today.